You want to know what the best marketing hack is for wholesaling real estate? Stay tuned. Hey, what's up, guys? My name is Graylan Stewart. I'm a virtual wholesaler. We wholesale nationwide, all over the U.S. So today, my video is actually about marketing. Okay, marketing is not rocket science. Obviously, when you're wholesaling real estate, the very first step is to get leads coming in. Okay, because without leads, you can't do anything else. Okay, so obviously that's basically step one to wholesaling real estate. So marketing, what do you do with marketing? Obviously there's a hack that most of you should know. It's common sense, but most people won't do it or refuse to do it. But really, when you think about it, it doesn't matter what kind of marketing you do, okay? It could be cold calling, it could be text messaging, it could be RVMs, pay-per-click ads, Facebook ads, you name it, direct mail, radio, TV, billboards, bandit signs, driving for dollars, whatever you do out there. The real hack literally is consistency. That's it. Consistency. But believe it or not, that's exactly what holds most people back. Okay? So first of all, what I would tell you is whatever you decide to do, you got to go all in on that first of all, and then you got to be consistent. Okay, so a lot of people choose some of the cheaper methods going, at first, like driving for dollars or maybe bandit signs, because that's easy to do and fairly affordable, or maybe even RVMs or text messaging or cold calling. Those are all fairly affordable. But the problem is, most wholesalers, when they get started, they do a couple of things. So most of them might try to say, okay, well, those are all the easy things, like driving for dollars, SMS, RVM, cold calling, and bandit signs. So that's 5 easy things that I could do, that I can just kind of do it all, easily and pretty affordable. So what they'll do is they make a mistake and they'll do all 5 of those things, right? And then they're like, well, none of that is actually working, so let me pivot and do something else. Or some people will just do one of those things. Let's just say, okay, I'm going to drive for dollars because I don't have any money right now. And, driving for dollars to get a lead so I can get my first deal, then I can actually do real marketing. So the problem is, people will stop doing that after a while. Let's just say you drive for dollars, and I don't do this, so I don't really speak on it much, because driving for dollars was never one of my marketing channels. I did it initially when I first started, just to kind of get a gauge on what these houses actually look like and the process of it. So I actually did do the driving for dollars, and I had the whole list and skip traced it. But I never did it consistently. That was the issue. I kind of gave up on it quick because it was difficult. It's easy, but it's like not scalable, if you know what I'm saying on that, just because you got to do that every day. And when I started, I had a little bit of money. That's why I chose direct mail to get started. I already had a direct mail company, so it made sense for me. I already believed in the product, and I could easily get it done. So that's why I chose direct mail. It did cost a little bit, obviously, but like I said, I had a little bit of money to play with, so I could do that. But most people do driving for dollars probably initially because it's free. But the biggest problem is they don't do it consistently. You might do it for 1 or 2, 3 days. Maybe you got 50 on your list, which is never enough. Think about it. Whatever you end up doing with that list, if you do driving for dollars, obviously you have to skip trace it most likely, so you can either call, text, RVM, something like that, or if you don't skip trace it, you need to mail them. So whatever you do with it, you got to do with it consistently, okay? So, but most people, they might do 50, 100 houses. That's just not enough. This is truly a numbers game. So the broader you can go, the bigger the lists that you can build, the better you're going to do. So if you did driving for dollars, like if you choose that method, then do it on certain times. Like, okay, I'm going to set aside an hour a day to do it. And that's what you commit to. and you do it consistently every single day, or if it's Monday, Wednesday, Friday, whatever that looks like for you with your time constraints or whatever else, just commit to it. And maybe not even for an hour. Just say, okay, I'm going to get 50 houses every time I go out. So I'm going to do it twice a week, or even just every Saturday. Okay, you get 50 houses every Saturday. So do that consistently over time, and then you get 50 houses times 52 weeks. Then you got a pretty big size list that you could do something with. If you did skip trace them, you could do some of those methods we just spoke about, or you could mail them. Okay, but let's just say, okay, well, I want to kind of shorten that deal cycle, if you will. Because driving for dollars, you got to do it, and it takes a while to build that list up unless you are committed to do it every day. So maybe you do cold calling and you actually buy a list. That's fine, but most people stop cold calling too because cold calling is difficult. You're hiring VAs typically, which is never good to start out. You need to be able to do these things yourself before you hire it out. You got to become a master at it before you can delegate it. Because if you can't teach people properly how to do things, then how can you expect them to be successful in it? Okay, that's the biggest thing that I learned when I started cold calling. So obviously my first marketing channel was direct mail. I quickly moved into cold calling after that, just so I could try to add another, because I was already an expert in direct mail before I even started wholesaling. So that was easy to add cold calling right after. But I did it bad. I did it the wrong way, and I spent a ton of money just hiring the wrong people for one, but not only that, just expecting them to know what to do and to know how to do it and how I wanted it, which is a mistake. Because yes, a lot of them, they might have experience in cold calling, working for other wholesaling companies or realtors or whatever else, but that doesn't mean they actually know what they're doing. Specifically for wholesaling. I mean, you definitely got to coach people through these things. That's why now, we have SOPs for everything, standard operating procedures, and it's like video build out, showing you step by step what I expect, how I want it done, what your expectations are, when you do make calls and that kind of thing. So, but the point is, I was consistent on the cold calling, but I didn't coach them and I didn't teach them. So it failed. So I dropped it, after a few months because it didn't work for me. But, so when you are consistent, you actually have to know what you're doing, okay? So driving for dollars, obviously that's easy. You can do that. That's duplicatable. You can make that consistent. Direct mail, you can do that consistent. Just send the postcard or the letter out, however often you decide to do, whether that's 4, 6, 8 weeks every time. But you can do those things consistently, a lot easier. But I quickly moved into other channels to where you can almost set it and forget it. That's why I love radio. You can do the ad and set it and forget it. So it's consistent on its own. That's why I do like RVM and SMS. It's set it and forget it for a while, but you do have to kind of load those up. When I set up my campaigns, we don't do a ton, but we do 5,000 every day between SMS and SMS and RVMs. But we do it consistently, so that those campaigns will last me typically about 2 months before they all burn out, and I got to reload it up again. That's why I like that, because it's easy, like I set it and forget it type of method. And the same thing with cold calling. Now we've got it dialed in to where they're actually trained, where we actually get good leads from it. But we do it consistently every single week. Not every week do we get deals from cold calling, but I'm still paying them to cold call every single week. And to be honest, we don't even get like qualified leads every single day, but they're still doing the thing. It's just like a numbers game. Eventually the leads will come in. You just got to stay consistent at it. So whatever you decide to do, I definitely would always start with 1 or 2 marketing channels when you're starting out. But whatever you choose, do it consistently and become a master at it before you delegate it out. So that's really the whole point of this video, is consistency. I've done several videos talking about consistency. This entire business, every portion of it is all based on consistency. You got to do the marketing consistently. You got to do the lead follow-ups consistently. You've got to do your adding to your buyers list consistently. You've got to be talking to different title companies, different buyers, different sellers, just all these things. You got to do it all the time. I mean, how do you expect to be successful if you're not consistent? Just like if you have a 9 to 5 right now, You consistently get up every morning and go to work, don't you? That's the same thing. If you want to make wholesaling real estate a business or turn it into a real side hustle even before you quit your 9 to 5, just be consistent and you'll make it happen for sure. So anyways, that's kind of my short little video today, just giving you kind of some insight, because it's so true. You know, if you're consistent, you will be successful, I guarantee you. It's basically impossible not to, because it is a numbers game. So even if you're kind of messing up, you'll accidentally be successful because you were consistent in your action, right? So anyways, hopefully that was beneficial to you. I appreciate you guys. Thanks for tuning in. If you haven't already, please do subscribe. I'd appreciate that. And like the video. Send me a comment if you've got any thoughts on marketing or consistency in general. Just shoot me a message. I'll reply to all of them. And I'd love to connect with you. So anyways, thanks a lot. Like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.